Today, Gaming America is speaking with slot influencer par excellence, Brian Christopher. Not only is he the foremost of his type in the world, he has also entered a partnership with Gaming Arts to make the game pop and pays more. Thank you for speaking with us this morning, Brian.
Thank you. My pleasure.
First question I wanted to ask, when did you first play your first slot?
I'm from Canada, so in Canada you have to be 19 to play. So I was 19 years old, probably around the first month that I turned 19, and I headed to the casino with my friends.
Was it love at first sight, or did
It was.
did this whole gig come along later?
The gig came along later, but my fascination with gambling, it was in my blood. I had to do it.
Um, so you're kind of the first influencer I've ever really spoken to in my life, or at least proper one. I was wondering, what is the life of an influencer like? Is it hard work? It seems like it could be fun, you doing what you love, but I'm wondering, what is it like day to day?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a ton of fun doing what we do, and I love what I do, but it is a grind. It is 7 days a week, long hours, tons of travel, tons of meetings to set everything up, and it's a full-fledged business. We have 10 employees that I have
Hmm.
to manage as well. 10 incredible employees that are doing great work for us. But yeah, it's nonstop work.
Hmm. Where are you based out of?
Based out of Palm Springs, though most of
Hmm.
my time is spent on the road.
Right, right. I was wondering, you said you loved gambling. Do you do other forms of gambling, or are you pretty restricted to slots?
For my channel on Facebook and YouTube, I mainly just do slots. And then on my free time, I'll definitely be playing table games as well and video poker.
Hmm. Cool. Um, so I know we met at G2E not long ago. Excuse me. I was wondering, just for this interview here, could you just explain how you got into the game of slot influencer?
Yeah, well, it was a job that never existed before, and so I never actually intended for that to happen. I just put out some videos for fun that somehow resonated with people, and they took off immediately. Um, and because of that, I uploaded more videos, and then they took off, and I got a lot of subscribers and a lot of views. And so I just kept with it because I couldn't believe how quickly things were progressing with it. This was over 6 years ago now, and it's just not stopped slowing down at all.
Yeah. I was wondering, you're on the internet. There's a sort of a stereotype, I guess, of slot players, and sort of old ladies sitting with a cup of quarters. I know that's very old fashioned, but I was wondering, do you think that slot vendors, or you know casinos with slots on their floor, which they all have, do you think they have a problem appealing to young people?
I think a lot of them do have that problem, and that's where I definitely do a good job with is attracting the younger folks. And I mean, if you look at our audience in particular, we have more males than females on our Facebook page, and they skew more millennial as well. So
Hmm.
I think things are definitely changing. The audience is getting younger and more diverse. We are also like demystifying kind of the stigma that comes with being a gambler. Well, like before, people were embarrassed to say that they played slot machines or that they went to the casino and lost money playing slots. It was something you kept very private to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's something that, I've just made it really look really fun. And I mean, also slot machines are a lot more fun than they used to be. They used to be really, bucket of quarters, put in three quarters, do one spin, get a cherry, you get a quarter. It wasn't very exciting.
Hmm.
Now everything's digital. There's tons of bonuses, a lot more excitement on the floor, and so that's catching on, and people are realizing, hey, it's actually a cool thing to do to play slots.
Yeah. Do you think, as because say the gambling industry in general is becoming more socially acceptable across the United States over the last few years, do you think we'll be seeing slots in more places?
Oh yeah, I mean, casinos, anyways.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think, and online, they're popping up like crazy right now, and sports betting is exploding, and I think online slots is definitely right behind it.
Sure, sure. Uh, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the evolution of slots. What how has, in your view, the technology kind of changed or evolved since you've been doing this?
Yeah, I mean, when I started at 19, it was we were still using, tokens. I guess it wasn't actually quarters, it was tokens. And it was a lot of fun. Very slow pace though, right? Putting in a quarter and a quarter and a quarter or tokens over and over, and then you literally, if you won like $1,000 in quarters, you'd literally be waiting 10 minutes for them to spew out all these all these tokens.
Yeah,
Pace is definitely sped up dramatically, because now you press cash out, you get a ticket in 5 seconds, right? But on the screens itself, I still remember when the first penny machine arrived on the floor, and everyone was so confused, like, it's the future of slots, penny machines. And I'm like, who would sit, like, in my mind, I'm like, who would sit and play a penny a spin, right?
yeah,
But they knew exactly what they were doing, because it sounds so cheap when it's a penny denomination machine, but minimum bet is actually maybe 30 cents or 50 cents, or even nowadays 88 cents or a dollar 50 is a minimum bet on pennies. So and they go up really high. And so that the denominations and the bet numbers have definitely increased over the years. And like I said, so have the screens. Like it used to be a single line game, or maybe a 5 line game or a 3 line game, and now we're seeing 50 and 100 line games, or you can win 7,000 different ways. Like it's to a non-gambler, it is an explosion of the senses, because you have no idea what's going on. You see fireworks going off and you think, oh my gosh, I won a jackpot, but you literally just won 37 cents, right?
yeah,
Um,
right.
it's hard for a new gambler to sit in front of one of these machines and know where they won or what they're looking for. And that's really, my job, basically, is
Hmm.
explain. And I do that in every video. I'll briefly explain what we're looking for, what we need, or how we just won. And it helps people, when they go to the casino, to know what game to play next, or
Yeah,
how to.
sure. That makes complete sense. I know I'm a little confounded by them myself.
Yeah, they're so confusing these days. They really are.
Yeah. Uh, Personal question. You don't have to answer it, but what's the most you ever won
Oh, I don't
on
mind
a
answering that one.
yeah.
So, the most I personally won on a physical slot machine was about $24,000. It was during a live stream on Dollar Storm at Plaza, in the Brian Christopher Slots at Plaza area, of course. That
Hmm.
was a lot. We do group slot pulls as well, and in a group, it was a mega group pull, so we had tons of people all put in $100 into this one machine where we were doing like $100 spins, and we won around $5,000 on the
Hmm.
jackpot in that game as well. And then on online slots, I play and work with playchumba.com. And on there, my biggest jackpot was in a bonus. I was spending 180 a spin and won 250,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. So you mentioned online slots. Uh, do you play them? What can you sort of tell? I know it's a vague question, but just what the difference between the user experience of online versus in person or in the
Right.
land-based setting. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't have a big difference. To me, it's like I'm a gambler and I just like to gamble. So the accessibility is there for sure. I can do it anytime I want to, and anywhere I want to. I just want to be clear also that I'm talking about like online gambling itself for slots is only available in a few states across the country. I'm in
Yeah.
California where it's not. That's why like sites like Play Chumba I can play on, because it's a sweepstakes based site, so that allows you to play in 48 of the 50 states instead. So I just want to be clear about that I'm following the legal laws of the land. And but yeah, I mean, and also the other differences between online and a casino is online they're much stricter about payouts, and so technically the payout percentage that you can get online is higher than you'll find in a casino. So
Hmm.
that's why you'll find also doing bigger spins online, is because I feel more comfortable, because I know that my odds of winning are a little bit higher as well.
Right. Do you find that slot design is guided more with land-based slots in mind or with online slots in mind, or are they just designed quite separately, really?
Generally, they are done separately when it comes to the because I had that conversation at G2E actually with the company, and I'm like, did you guys ever, because they have like thousands of games, I'm like, do you ever bring them into like a physical slot machine? And they said no, they don't. But we are seeing that a lot more often coming out, especially from the actual slot machine side, where they'll take like Light and Wonder, for example, their slot machines, they have their own apps, and so they're able to cross it over very easily. And I think very soon we'll see my game, Brian Christopher's Pop and Pays More, put onto sites as well and onto apps.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question, the hybrid slot with app and physical slot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like a pretty brilliant idea because wouldn't the physical slot get smaller and don't they want to have smaller slots, or does that not happen?
It makes sense to me. You're talking about size-wise of the game?
Size wise, yeah, because they say, square inches on the casino floor is money, right?
Right. They don't seem to be getting any smaller. They're getting bigger.
They're getting bigger.
Yeah, bigger is better for them right now. I mean, they have like the ginormous slot machines as well, but
Yeah.
every G2E, it seems like the screen's getting wider or taller. Some of them are like 20 feet tall now. It's ridiculous. But yeah, definitely the crossover is there. And personally, for me, I like to play a game on my phone that I can play in a casino because I already know how to play it. Um, Playing on playchumba.com, I've had to learn a whole other set of different games that are out there. And I've come to love them, right? And now I wish that those were on a machine in a casino because it's the crossover is just, there's thousands of games to play and choose from. And so if there's one game that you already know on one place, I'm gonna probably play that one in the casino as well.
Yeah, yeah. I guess the idea behind them getting bigger and more colorful is to attract players, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bigger, the brighter, the louder.
Yeah. What about these levered slots? Do you ever mess around with those anymore?
Uh, they, I don't even know, maybe like 10% of them still have them.
Hmm.
But you don't need to use the levers on them, right? You can just press the
Yeah.
buttons. There's none that are just lever only. So honestly, we're lazy people these days. And so like just pressing a button is a lot easier than reaching over and pulling it up.
Mhm.
Occasionally I'll do it. But I'm also filming too. So I just, it doesn't really make sense to me always be doing this on camera. So
Yeah, yeah. I did hear when I was in Vegas, I sort of went around. I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but to the slot floor and just started talking to them as a journalist. And one person at the old-fashioned slot said the payout, the odds are higher for payout. Do you think that's true?
there's definitely that understanding that the older ones are. Um, Definitely the higher the denomination, also, the higher the payback percentage.
Mhm.
Um, and typically that's where most of the older ones are located, would be high limit. So yeah, I mean, the casinos keep that under wraps. They don't really tell us exactly. So for like when we get stats back from Nevada, for example, they only tell us the stats for the strip, not per casino. They tell us stats for
Right.
downtown Vegas, not for each individual one. So they're very tight-lipped about certain things. But when it comes to denominations, we know that the larger the denomination, the higher the payback percentage.
Yeah. What would you say? And again, you don't have to answer this. Is the best slot floor you've seen in your life in
Oh,
Vegas or anywhere in the world for that matter?
yeah. I mean, well, so I talked about my area over at Plaza Casino. It's a curated area of my favorite slot machines. So
All
to
right.
me, that's the best area. And they're actually building an expansion right now, which will be the very first smoke-free casino floor in all of downtown Vegas. Completely separate entrance and separate from all the smoke, so you don't have to even go near it. So that's going to have like 80 of my favorite games in there. So that'll be my favorite. There's a lot of casinos out there that are known for getting the newest and greatest slot machines first before other ones. And I know like Yamava is one of those ones that's here in California. It's a behemoth though. It's like they have over, what is it, over 5,500 games, I believe. It's two different floors. And every time I go there, I'm just blown away by wow. Like there's so many new games. I've never seen these games before. So it's that's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah, cool. I also wanted to give you the opportunity to plug your Pop and Pay or game with Gaming Arts. How did that partnership come along, and what's the game like?
So yeah, essentially they reached out to me and said, "Hey Brian, we love what you're doing, and we're wondering if there's an opportunity for us to work together here." They knew that I already loved the original Pop and Pays slot machine, and so they told me that we're coming up with a sequel, and we thought this would be a great introduction to bring you in onto this project. I was extremely excited about it because I've been wanting to do a slot machine for a while, but I've been waiting for the right time and the right partner to work with. They were like super, super great to work with. I'd give them ideas right up until 2 weeks before launch. I was like, "Ooh, what about if we like if people touch my face, I say something. If I
Mm.
yell my catchphrase, rude. Let's do that." So that was one of the things that they added in for me. Yeah, no problem. Right down to like the music that was used. I got to help them design that. I was in the sound booth, recorded over 200 of my catchphrases and sounds and weird things that I say. So yeah, super awesome partner. And the game itself is just so cool. You basically get my beautiful face. You get to line it up, and then he pops and gives you different credits or jackpots as well, like progressive amounts. But what I like about it is there's just so much action happening. So there's the popping of the faces. There is a thing called the rocket roll up, where you can win another different set of progressive jackpots that happens more frequently. And you can compete with other people around you for the same jackpots, which is fun. And then randomly, Brian will throw out some extra symbols that you might need to create some more pops on the screen. And then my favorite is the shaky shaky, where that's what we call it anyways, where a coin just dances across the screen and then it gives you either a really big win or an awesome bonus. And yeah, always keeps you busy and entertaining. I absolutely love the game. And it's doing really well. Like it's in
Yeah.
almost 30 states across the country. It's also
Sorry,
on
how many is it
well.
in? Sorry, you skipped.
Yeah, it's almost in 30 cruises or 30 casinos across the country.
Cool.
In I think 9 different states already, and on 3 different cruise ships.
Nice. Do you
Yeah.
know any cheats so you can game it and like win every time?
Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to slot machines, it takes zero skill for
Yeah.
every slot machine I ever play. The only thing you can do is, at the very top of our machine, you have 3 progressive jackpots that must hit before it gets to a certain number. So if you see that it's very close to the top, you might want to sit down and see if you can get at the top.
Yeah, right. Cool. I wanted to ask you, you seem to be in a studio right now. Is this where you work and
Yeah,
film? Yeah.
yeah, I'm in my office in Palm Springs. It's a pretty large office, but this is my own space here where I do my online streaming for playchamba.com and where I'm usually here like a couple days a week when I'm not traveling, just to do our work and run our meetings and then of course film.
Sure. Last question. What plans do you have on the horizon? Where do you go from here?
I mean, I just spent a weekend away by myself in a cabin to have a little creative mind experience kind of thing, where I wanted to plan out, the next year of my channel and what changes I wanted to see coming out of it. So you'll see some changes to the type of filming we're doing, the style that we film it in, the upload frequency. I'm always trying to find a better work-life balance for myself, but also for my employees. So I'm looking at that, and the success of our Pop and Pays slot machine has been really good, and so I'm looking for more. And so I was coming up with some new ideas that might come out in the future.
Fabulous. Well, good luck and thanks for speaking with Gaming America.
Thank you so much.
This has been Brian Christopher. Thanks.